So if your meta ads aren't working, then it's probably just because you're bad at marketing. I'm only joking. There's probably some hidden flaw that you just can't find yet that's stopping you from continuing to make progress and generate results through your meta ads. So in this video, I'm going to highlight to you what are the main potential bottlenecks within a meta ad campaign. I'm going to show you how you can tell whether that is the actual bottleneck, and then I'm going to give you various solutions to fix that problem. Now, we've helped a number of businesses grow, and we've used meta ads to do that. We've generated hundreds of leads, and this is the exact process that we use when we're trying to identify problems or potential bottlenecks within our ad campaigns. So once you get to the end of the video, you will understand how to completely troubleshoot your meta ad campaign so you can stop seeing dry weeks or dry months and just carry on making progress like you used to. Okay, so these are the main bottlenecks that we have found when it comes to a meta ad campaign. Okay, so we have obviously the ad itself, the landing page that you're sending people to, or the follow-up system that you have in place to those leads or to get in contact with those leads. These are the main three bottlenecks that you're going to find within your meta ad campaign. So more often than not, a lot of people get fixated on, I'm not generating as many customers as I used to, my meta ads must be not working, when in reality the ads are actually performing fine, but there's something wrong with either the landing page or the follow-up sequence that you're putting them through, which is preventing you from actually generating results. But you spend too much time focusing on the ads because you just assume that that's the issue, when in reality it's something else. So to stop you wasting time on changing ads, trying new creatives, churning up new copy, when in reality the issue all along was the fact that your landing page just doesn't load quick enough, then we're going to save you a lot of time. So this is how we can be effective and efficient when it comes to fixing our meta ad campaigns and get back on the straight and narrow and continue generating results like we used to. So I've made a very quick grid here. So we can see there's three sections here. We have the potential bottlenecks listed like I just showed you. We're going to go through the metrics that we can look at to know whether these bottlenecks are actually the bottleneck. And then I'll take you through some solutions, which we'll fill out in a minute. So if we focus on the ads. Now, if the ads aren't churning out the results that we want, it can probably be something like CPC, CPM, or the average video view time. So if we're not quite getting the same amount of clicks, okay, if our cost per click is going up, or our average view time on a video, say we're running video ads, then we know that this new video is nowhere near as engaging as the ones that we were running previously. So let's say our average view rate of the first 10% of the video used to be 20%, 30%, and now it's 10, then we know that there's something wrong with the actual video ad, okay? So also, what could happen is external factors could come into play, and your CPM, like the average CPM of the industry that you're in, could also go up. Okay, that's sort of out of your control, but at least we now understand where the issue is coming from, why we're spending more on leads. It's just because the market that you're advertising within has become more competitive, so naturally things become more expensive. And then if your CPC is going up, then your cost per click, that is, then that could be something. It might not even be something to do with the body of the ad, but perhaps your call to action is poor or it's unclear. So people are viewing the ad, they're interested in the ad, but they don't actually know what you're asking them to do. So they don't know how to take action and become a lead or buy whatever you're advertising. Right, so this is a fairly simple solution. Make your ads better. But that's not really what we're looking for. That's very simple. So let's go through some ways that we can actually make our ads better. So we can make better creatives. Now, we know that creatives are a crucial part of meta ads, particularly nowadays when the algorithm's so powerful and there's less emphasis put on trying to hack the system, do some sort of fancy ninja level targeting that's going to get you in front of the perfect sort of person. That matters far less now compared to what it did 4, 5, 6 years ago. Now, the things that you have complete control of is what matters the most. So these are things like your creative and your copy. So better creatives is going to probably be one of the first things that you should be looking at. If your creatives are subpar, then that's not going to be ideal. So how do we make our creatives better? So we could be pushing out a better offer through these creatives. Okay, we could have a more emotionally evoking image or video. This could be more triggering or generate more curiosity. You're going to have to excuse my spelling. Not my strongest suit. Thank God for spell check. We could simply just be missing the mark in terms of grabbing attention, so we should make this more eye-catching / grab. We could start to run different types of ads. So if we're running image ads, we can move to video, or vice versa, or perhaps we could try carousel. Or if we are running image ads and it has a picture, then maybe we could just transfer over to a very simple image ad of just some text with some like emotionally compelling text on there. Or we could simply just go back to the ad that was working before. So if we are comparing this to a previous campaign, and we know that the old campaign was actually working better than this new one that we've started to run, then it might just be a better idea for us to just go back to the ad that was actually just working. Obviously, it's always good to look to improve and optimize your ads. And testing out new creatives, like we've just said, is a really good way of doing that. But we can't get too emotionally involved in ad creatives, okay? Efficiency beats creativity. So if we've spent hours and hours designing the perfect video ad and we think it's going to absolutely crush, and then we also spend 2 minutes creating a really simple image ad that just has some text on it, and that image ad is generating us better results, then we're going to have to go for the ad that's generating us better results, even though we spent hours on a video and it was our life and soul for a week and we spent ages on it. But the image ad is doing better, then we need to use the image ad, okay? Results over your sort of emotional biases towards different types of creatives, because it can happen, especially if you're spending a lot of time on building out a particular type of creative. But we can't get emotionally tied to our creatives. So hopefully we can see there that at least one of these solutions is going to help deal with this. Now, CPM, like I said, is tough because if you're what's the word I'm looking for? If the market that you're competing in just inherently gets more competitive, things are going to become more expensive, and that is sort of out of your control. The only thing that you can do there is just be better than your competitors, okay? But we can do that by having better creatives or a better offer or a more emotionally invoking video or image. We can make our images more triggering, or we can generate more curiosity, or we can have better eye-catching ads, or we can just use different types of ads, or we can just stick to what we know is working, stay in our own lane, and just carry on doing that and riding that wave until we encounter another issue. I've gone through other elements. These aren't the only sort of, so things like more triggering, this is good, but it's not the only marketing element, marketing tactic that we can use. Things like curiosity as well. We could use things like FOMO, or we can create more intrigue, or we can make people excited, or we can make people sad or worried. You know, as long as we're evoking some sort of emotion, then that's going to be a very compelling ad. We just need to do it in the right way. And obviously the types of emotions that we're trying to evoke out of our audience also does depend on the type of branding that you are going for and the type of brand image that you have. So if you're a bit more provocative and out there, then you might be able to go for things like making people triggered, perhaps sort of frustrating them a little bit, winding them up by sort of not insulting them, but sort of assuming that they're doing something wrong. Or if we're trying to be more of a helpful kind of helping hand kind of image, then we might use things like curiosity or perhaps FOMO. You know, you need to make a call on what's going to work best for your brand image, but as long as we're really triggering some sort of emotion, like some strong, deep emotion, then that's going to become an effective ad. So hopefully we can see now these are the different types of approaches that we can take to actually making our ads better. Okay, so if we do see that your average cost per click is going up or your average view time is going up, then we can assume there's an issue with the ad. Okay, because as long as all the other metrics stay the same and these are the ones that are changing, then these are the potential solutions. But essentially all you need to do is make your ad better. Okay, so the next one is the landing page. So if we go through this, and this is a chronological order, okay, so we want to start at the beginning and then move through. So as long as we can get through this bit and we can say our CPM, CPC, and our average view time, or our average video view time are all consistent and they haven't changed, then we can move down to the landing page and we can check the landing page for issues. So Potential metrics that we can look at to try and understand whether the landing page is the issue is cost per lead, call booking rate, sign up rate, or web page visit time. So if our cost per click is really good, so we know that people are still clicking on our call to action at the same rate as they always have done, there's not an issue with the ad. But then if our cost per lead is going up, it means that more people are clicking. No, sorry, the same amount of people are clicking, but less people are converting into a lead. So there's something not quite right with the landing page compared to the old one. So what are some potential fixes? I mean, that's not the only thing. So cost per lead, that's obviously going to, if your cost per lead goes up, that's going to decrease your call booking rate, unless you're upping your ad budget, which then it's your cost per lead is going to be a better metric to use if you're in the process of scaling up. And then sign up rate, very similar to call booking rate, and then web page visit time. So if that's going down, then perhaps people aren't really liking what they see. Anyway, let's go through some solutions right now. Okay, so a big one is improved load time. So if people are clicking through to our landing page and they're just sat waiting for our landing page to load, well, a lot of people aren't going to do that. Lots of people aren't just going to sit and wait for a landing page to load. As soon as they have to wait more than 3, 4, 5 seconds, they're going to click off and carry on scrolling. So we need to make sure that when people click, it's going to be very quick for us to load our landing page. So this is going to mean that we're going to limit things like videos or animated sections of the web page, or things that are basically data heavy and just going to strain someone's phone or laptop and make it hard for the actual web page to load. If we can try and get rid of those and substitute them with something that's a bit more simple to load and easier to load, then that's going to be ideal. So better media is going to be another one. So better images, videos, or particularly VSLs. So if we have compelling images or we have a very compelling VSL, that's going to be really good. Essentially what we want all of the imagery and all of the videos to do is we want it to be focused on the prospect or the potential lead, and we want it to be emotionally compelling to them. Okay, so we want to talk to our typical prospects' pain points, and we want to talk about how we can get them the goals that they want to reach. Okay, if we're getting a bit lazy with our imagery and with our VSL, and perhaps your video sales letter at the moment, video sales letter is VSL, if you didn't know that already. But if your video sales letter is you basically talking about, oh, we're located here, I've got these qualifications, I've been doing this for this many years, I got into fitness because whatever, that may be useful somewhere later on down the road. But right now, people care about themselves, okay? We're all a little bit narcissistic, and we all just want to know what's in it for us. Why should I be here? Why should I give you my money? Why should I trust you to solve my problems and get me towards my goals? That's all people want to know. So make sure that your video sales letters focus on the actual prospects, and don't waste their time and waste your time by talking about yourself, talking about how good your business is. Of course, we are basically saying to them that your business is good, but we're doing it in the context of the benefits and the problems that are solved for the prospect, and not, oh, I've got this much experience, I started doing it because of this. You know, these things are good, but they come later. In the beginning, we need to focus completely on the prospect. Okay, so we could have better copy. We could have more social proof. So these things are just going to make your landing page more compelling. Okay, better copy. That's going to increase interest, increase attention, because hopefully they're going to be reading some very emotionally compelling copy. And again, we're going to be using the same sort of tactics that I've just spoken about for the better media within the copy. Okay, emotionally compelling, focusing on the prospect, all of these good things. Next, we might need more social proof, or if we don't have it, include social proof. Social proof is a really good way of getting people who don't know you, basically, because when we're advertising on meta ads, unless we're doing a retargeting campaign, all the people that we're going to be getting in front of are cold. Okay, they don't know who we are. They're seeing us for the very first time. And basically, we should be thinking, why are these people going to trust me? What's in it for them? And why should I sign up and even waste my time giving them my contact information if I don't trust them? So social proof is going to be a really, really good way of getting people to actually trust you. So this can be success stories, reviews, success statistics, before and after pictures of your clients and your gym members. You know, all of these things will add up, and if people can see that you've helped 50 other people solve the problems that they have and get them towards the goals that they also have, then that's just going to be a win-win. People are going to trust you, they're going to buy in far more, and it's going to be easier for you to convert those cold people into a warm audience or into a lead. Okay, formatting on phones is a big one. So most people are going to be viewing our ads on a phone. Very rarely are people going to be engaging with our ads because they're on a laptop. Rarely. 10% of the time, 5% of the time will they be on a laptop. The majority of the time they're going to be on a phone. So we need to ensure that our landing pages are formatting well to phones. Because if we're building our own landing pages, more often than not, we're going to be doing that on a laptop. But we need to realize that pretty much everyone who's going to be engaging with these ads and landing on this landing page is going to be on a phone. So we need to ensure that we are putting a lot of effort into the formatting of our landing page on a phone. Okay, so a clear CTA, this is sort of marketing basics, but we need to make sure that the action that we want our prospect to go on, i.e. turning themselves into a lead, is very clear. So we need to make our lead form or our opt-in form extremely clear. There needs to be plenty of buttons throughout the landing page if you've got a fairly long one. There needs to be plenty of buttons throughout that landing page so that people are able to click on those buttons, get back to the lead form and sign up. Okay, that needs to be very clear, very simple. Don't use any fancy language here. It needs to be so almost like a toddler could understand what you're trying to get them to do. That's the kind of mindset that you need to have. It needs to be extremely basic and simple language that's directing people to the conversion event. Perhaps your landing page also feels to not enough connection between your ad and your landing page. So people might think that they're clicking on an ad, they see a particular sort of person, brand image, a type of messaging, a type of avatar, and then they click through to your landing page and there's too much disparity between the ad and the landing page. Perhaps the colors are off, perhaps the fonts are off, perhaps there's completely different imagery, perhaps the offer is not included in the landing page that you've been pushing through your ad. So we need to make sure that we see our landing pages as an extension of our ads. Okay, they're all one big entity that work in sort of unison. We can't just have ads that are, if we're trying out a new ad and a new offer, and we've also gone through a rebrand and we've got slightly different brand coloring and stuff, and we're still pushing them through to our old landing pages with our old brand colors and our old offer, or there's no specific offer on the landing page, that's going to make people confused. People aren't going to take the time to think like, oh, maybe they've gone for a rebrand, maybe these are their new colors and I'm on that. People aren't going to think like that. They're just going to see something different. They're going to get confused. Confused minds don't buy, and they're going to click off, and then you've just lost that lead. So make sure that your ads connect nicely to your landing page. Okay, so that's pretty much it really, I think. Those are the main ones. So like I say, if your cost per lead is going up, but your engagement with your ads is steady and healthy and doesn't change compared to your old ads, then there's going to be something wrong with your landing page, and these are the potential solutions. And then finally, we have follow-ups. So the only thing that's going to be able to tell if you are not following up with them properly is your conversion rate. Now, what I mean by follow-ups is basically any sort of contact that you have with your lead once they have left their lead information. So once they've left their phone and their email and their name, how are you interacting with that lead? What are the steps that you are taking to nurture them and convert them into a customer? So if your cost per lead is still healthy and has not budged, but your conversion rate is dropping, then that's going to mean something is wrong with the way that you're following up with these leads. Okay, so simple. The solution, a better follow-up system. Now, I've made a whole video about follow-up systems and how this can work and what this should look like, what you should say, what touch points we're talking about, but I'll go through some simple solutions here. But if you want a more in-depth explanation on how follow-up should be working, then there is a video on my channel for that. It was actually the first video I ever posted, so go and check that out if you're interested. Okay, so the biggest rule of follow-ups is... Okay, so are you following up with a lead within 5 minutes of them leaving their lead form? Okay, or I've put here at least 15 minutes, because 5 minutes is a very short amount of time, and we need to be extremely proactive with the leads, and it can be hard if we're also running a business to make sure that we're staying on top of leads. But the quicker that you follow up with a lead, the more likely you are to actually engage with them, qualify them, and then convert them into a customer. Okay, the difference between the likelihood of you actually qualifying and converting a lead when you contact them 5 minutes after they've left their form compared to half an hour, you're 100 times less likely to convert them if you call them half an hour after they leave their lead form compared to if you called them 5 minutes. So this sort of the likelihood of you turning that lead into a customer as soon as they've left their form plummets. And as soon as we hit that half an hour to an hour stage, it starts to sort of tail out. But it continues to go down. But we can see how important it is for us to get these first reach outs done as soon as we possibly can. The promptness of your follow-up, and particularly your first follow-up, is really crucial. Okay, if you're following up with leads, if say you're like letting leads stack up and then you're contacting them all like the next morning, that is a huge no-no. And you're just, if you started to call leads up ASAP, you'd probably triple, quadruple your conversion rate just by doing that. So this is really important. Prompt follow-ups is vital. So we could have, are you following a script? So if you have a well thought out and well written script that you are saying on the phone to all of your leads as soon as you contact them, have you deviated from that, or are you trying a new script which maybe isn't converting high enough? So do we need to sort of go back to the old script that had a better conversion rate, or do we need to take a look at this new script and try and change it around so that it is more effective? So the only way of doing this is by having scripts, having then script feedback forms. So we're collecting data on these scripts and we're understanding what our conversion rates are. How long are we getting people on the phone for? What's the level of engagement that we are getting based on these scripts? And we can really use data to optimize these follow-up scripts that we're saying on the phone. Okay, next one. Are we leaving voicemails? So obviously we want to be calling, I hope we all know this, we want to be calling up leads as soon as we possibly can so we can speak to them on the phone. Speaking to someone on the phone is far superior than actually texting someone or using any sort of text-based follow-up, email, DM, SMS text, whatever. Because what's nice for the lead is they can actually hear a human on the other end of the phone. So they can actually put a human voice or a human face to the business. And people start to form relationships and they get along better with people than they do just brands or logos or just ads and like stock images that they've seen on an ad. So if we can put a human in front of them that they can relate to the business as soon as we possibly can, then that's going to improve our chances of actually converting them. So if we can't get through to them on the phone and speak to them on the phone, then we need to be leaving a voicemail so people can actually hear a human voice, leaving a voicemail. Hi name, this is XYZ Jim, you've just left your information with us, would love to jump on a call, would love to talk to you more about this, what's your availability to book a demo call or come in for a gym tour or whatever it is, okay? But we need to make sure that we are leaving voicemails if we can't get through to them on the phone. And again, these voicemails need scripts. We need data to be collected on these voicemail scripts so we can optimize them further as we progress in our sort of meta ad career, I guess. Okay, now I know I just harped on loads about calling people and leaving voicemails and that being the best follow-up solution, but we should also be utilizing text-based follow-ups. So some people don't really want to talk on the phone, some people don't check their voicemails, but a lot of people are active on text or Instagram DMs or emails. So we need to make sure that we're covering all bases, okay, and hitting new leads on as many touch points as we possibly can, because like I say, some people prefer calling and prefer voicemails, some people hate being on the phone and hate talking to people over the phone, and they'd prefer an email or a text. So if we're doing all of these things, we're covering all bases, we're leaving no stone unturned. So I guess based on that, we can actually make multiple touch points a solution. Okay, if we're relying on, if we're relying on just one channel and that's not getting us the results that we are hoping for, then we need to make sure that we are using multiple channels. Now, this does sound like a lot of work, but when it comes to text-based follow-ups like text, email, DM, those can be automated, okay? There's hundreds of softwares out there that aren't that expensive, and it's actually going to be well worth it, because once you start implementing these automated follow-ups on like text-based follow-ups, obviously we can't automate phone calls really because we need to call them, but you can automate these text-based follow-ups, and that does then take the pressure off your phone-based follow-up. So if, for whatever reason, you do miss a phone call because you missed the lead coming through, at least that lead is being followed up with promptly via text or email or DM or all three. So I guess we could also say automate follow-ups, because that's what we've just said. And if you're not doing that and you're automatically sending out follow-ups, then you could save yourself a lot of time by automating it, because okay, a little bit of more upfront work, but once that's set up, you're good, and your leads will always get followed up to some capacity forever. Okay, so by now you should be able to fix any meta campaign that you are running in the future. Okay, just run through this, make sure that we're going through this list chronologically. We're starting with ads, we're moving through to landing pages, and then we're finishing with the follow-ups. Of course, if we're not using landing pages, we can also think about If we're using things like instant forms, that's fine, but we need to put our instant forms through the same sort of analysis to make sure that they are hitting the criteria that we've spoken about. With all this information, you should never ever have another down week or month when it comes to your meta ads. You can just continue to generate leads, get results, get more revenue. Sure, you might have down days or a couple of days, but now you know how to fix these problems. So they're going to be far less of a hit on your business. Now, if all of this troubleshooting, fixing ads just sounds a little bit complicated or you can't be bothered to do it, then that's fine. We actually have a service and this is part of it. We run your meta ads and we help scale up your fitness business. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. That's going to take you to our landing page. There's going to be a quick video of me explaining how we might be able to fix this customer acquisition problem that you have. Okay, so yeah, there's a really good offer on there. I think you'll be interested, but that's only for a small selection of the people that are watching this. I'm just glad you made it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, subscribe. There's going to be far more content coming out, far more value. And yeah, cheers. See you in the next one.